Good morning and welcome again. And thank you again for coming back and listening to what I have, some of the channelings and my thoughts and what I'm trying to clear. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful day here. It's so nice to see the sun again. We've had like a lot of rain and stuff like that. And so today, I had a couple of subjects that I wanted to look at, but as you know, as the shifts and change in the universe, this shifts and changes as well. So, one of the things that I noticed about myself, and a really good friend brought it to my attention this week, is that sometimes what happens is when I get on the cusp of something great that's going to change my everything about me, like it's going to bring more, like create a different place of joy for myself. I start questioning myself. I start doubting myself, and I wonder if there's a lot of you out there that do that as well. So when we're on the cusp of greatness, we doubt ourselves, and sometimes what happens is we dismantle ourselves as well. So let's remove and release all the places in our lives that have brought us to the point that we try to dismantle the greatness that has come into our lives, or that, and as well as doubt ourselves, and do not allow it to come into fruition. Yes. Hello, good morning, Rose. Yes, it's like I'm catching, like I was catching myself the other day. It's like I'm on the cusp of something really big for myself, and I witnessed miracles with it, and it's just been phenomenal. But I'm still doubting myself, and it's like I listened to Jamie Lynn Kearns, Lima Kearns, Worthy. She did a 14-hour event a while ago, and she has a book out called Worthy, and so what I found is she's right. Like you're not different. You're just first. You're not crazy. You're just first. And it's like, and there's other people that have accomplished this in different ways in different places, but because it's us, we tend to uh, we tend to allow what's been played in our background to reach that point with. So let's remove and and release all the programs, the belief systems, and the aspects of wonder that have been dampened, distorted, and and devalued times a godzillion. Yes. Yeah, it's just like, thank you so much for showing up, Rose. I really appreciate it. And it's like, there's so much, like, it's like, I don't want to feel like this. I'm sure you don't want to feel like this either. And we just that you witness all the changes that you make in other people's lives, and you see them reaching their greatness. And it's like, but why do we struggle with it? Some of it is like it's innately ingrained in us. Allison, wonderful Allison May, had done my. Um, I had heard about the like the human design, but I didn't understand what it meant. And she said that like I'm a manifester, and and I'm an emotional manifester. So it's like I've had to study that a bit to understand it, because I've always been in a place of, I think I've been more in a different place. So I'm like, okay, if I can manifest things with thoughts and feelings and emotions, then how do you do that? Right. So I've been working on that and trying to clear myself as well. And it's like each of us in us, no matter what our human design is, we still have these gifts and abilities. And so let's remove and release any places that we might put restraints on ourselves that does not allow us to see what an amazing, worthy person that we are, and that what we're accomplishing and what we're bringing to the world, what we're bringing to spirituality, and what we are bringing to the energy of light. Remove and release anything that does not allow us to receive that, to acknowledge it, and to accept it. Yes. The other thing too, I also noticed, and this is something that I had struggled with as well, and it's like that some of us will give up ourselves for the sake of approval of others. And it's like, so what parts of ourselves, let's remove and release what parts of ourselves that we're still doing that, and that we don't understand. We don't understand what we're accomplishing, but it's like we don't understand why we do it, and what I'm trying to think of the what contract, bonds, oaths, and promises have we made that we will do this when this person appears in our lives, no matter at what age or what time in our lives they appear. Remove and release that. Yes. Remove and release all the aspects of ourselves that does not, it's starting to feel a little bit better. It's like, that does not understand that we have a right, and that by standing in our power and standing in our presence and standing in our voice, like standing in our voice and being who we are, will bring all these wonderful, amazing opportunities to everyone around us. And that it's so remove and release all aspects of ourselves that feel that it's not, sometimes it's not, how do I put this? It's not wanted, it's not accepted, and it's not valued. Remove and release that. Yes. Because it's like when you, especially if you're like an empath and you start channeling and you get messages from people and you really want to share them with them, but that person may not be receptive to them. And it's like, so out of your exuberance and joy of this gift that you have, you tell them what you've channeled, and they receive it in the worst possible way, and do everything in their power to dismantle you because you told them this. And it's like, but the thing is, that's their issues, not yours. But it's like, anytime any spark hope, it's like with myself, there's so many gifts, there's so many healing gifts, there's so much that we can do for ourselves that people are not willing to do. And it's like, because of their own problems or their own choices, right? It's got nothing to do with us. But, you know, I used to really like to share and tell people what I felt or feel. And it's like, that's not the place to, and it's like, so all the places we attract people into our lives that are not in our highest and best good and are not worthy of our gifts and abilities because they chose at that place and time not to be. It's not that it's a conscious choice. It's just that, and all the places that we show our gifts and abilities and strengths and receive negative outcomes, release and remove how we've attracted that person to us or those situations to us. Yes. And it's like I've worked on myself for decades, and I mean, I've grown in leaps and bounds, and I'm very thankful and grateful for it. But sometimes what happens is that we still have that place doubt, and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't need that. I don't want to experience that. And it's like, so why do I allow it into my life? So let's remove and release that. All the places you allow doubt, dishonorment, and dismantling of yourself, remove and release it. Yes. Remove and release. Yeah, thanks, Rose. Yeah, that was big. There's a lot moving. Yeah, releasing. And sometimes what happens too in our own patterns from our own past life experience in this experience that we tend to go, we our circle may get a little bigger and get a little bigger and get a little bigger, but we tend to end up at the same destination. So remove and release all these destinations that are designed to dismantle us and destruct us and cause us to think that no matter what we accomplish, what we do, we always end up at the same place. So all these patterns, repeating patterns of destruction, whether they're subtle, unconscious, or just something that we learned, remove and release it. Yes. And it's like there's so much, like as you look at the people around you, I notice as my gifts get stronger and stronger, sometimes I see stuff in people that I prefer not to see, but I also understand it's to teach, it's to show me that sometimes when people express their opinions and they're in a negative way, that they're coming from a place of fear within themselves. And it's like, and they're also telling you that they're not willing, they're not open, and they don't want to receive this. And it's like, so all the places, remove and release, where we have places, people in our lives that are subtle reminders of the, not so much the part of us, but of any aspect of ourselves that we tend to allow ourselves to be dismantled or diminished. Times, yeah, yes, remove and release that. I have this wonderful group of people that not lately because things haven't worked out, but we usually get together. Well, they've been getting together. I haven't been able to do it. And it's like, it's so nice to be in a place where you're comfortable. Like it's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience. And so it's like, and then you'd like to expand and move on to something like that. But it's just that sometimes what happens is, like, it's all about letting your light shine. It's like, and by allowing your light to shine, it changes the energy for someone else and their light gets to shine. But it's not up to you to be responsible for them. And it's like, as much greatness that you see in people, it's not your responsibility. And we tend to do this because, we're caring people, but it sometimes can be another form of distraction, is that you see the greatness in someone, but they're not in a place of acknowledging it. Or that sometimes what it was me is that I didn't understand that I kept repeating certain patterns. And by breaking those patterns, it allowed me to see that, right? And it's like, it's not, I knew I had all these wonderful, amazing gifts and I had a lot to offer. I was just not in the right headspace at the time and also the right situations. And it's like, that's why sometimes I'll take courses. Well, you know what? It doesn't hurt to take a course. It doesn't hurt to read something to expand your knowledge, your abilities, and your gifts. But it's like it took a while to get me to understand, like to see this, to see the magnificence of myself. And then I have these moments of doubt, and I'm like, oh no. Then I remember, like, you're not crazy, you're just first. And it's like those simple, powerful words, right? And when she said that on the call, I have her book as well. That when she said that, it's like, oh my! And she just did a speech recently. I think she was on Instagram again, and that's what she was trying to explain to them, that anything is available to you, anything, and it's what you choose and how we perceive things. So let's remove and release any parts of ourselves that are perceiving what we are capable is a way of diminishing ourselves. So any limitations and any dismantling that we're doing to cause ourselves not to see, like, the possibility is endless. You decide, if you decide to move to go on a certain path, and it's like it's quite an adventure. And then once you get there, it's like there's this, and it was said to me in a way to, like, what happens is I achieve it, I'm successful at it, and I think I get bored, and then I got to move on to something else. And it's like, but the person that said it to me said, why can't you just stay there where you've succeeded? Why do you keep looking beyond that? And it's like, why not? Why not? The opportunity is there. Why not do it? So, but it's like, knowledge is power, and it's a way of healing yourself on levels you're not even aware exist. Also, you can go back into your past lifetimes and clear all these amazing, wonderful aspects, like all this is that's holding you back, or it could be your ancestral and inherited line. But it's like, so remove and release the programs that have diminished you through time, and the events, the trauma, and your cell memory imprint that have been used to diminish you, that have taught you to only, like, if you had a path of 5 choices, and I've talked about this before, and it's like, it really had to be pounded into my head. So I'm just saying, you had a path of 5 choices, and it's like, there's the doubting one, the difficult, the dismantling, and then you had, like, maybe this time around, it's all choices that you can make, and it takes you to where you want to go. So one thing that is really good at is, like, what do you want to accomplish and achieve in your life? And when you decide that, everything that comes into your life, does it take you further away from it or take you closer to it? So it's like it's like we sometimes, because of the amount of like what goes on in everyday life, we sometimes our hopes and dreams sort of like fade into the background, and we forget what we want to accomplish because of other events that occur. And sometimes you only have so much energy to accomplish certain things in a day. And it's like, but if you have that underlying remembrance of, like, this is going to get me there, it's just a side track, I'll get back on track. And the universe is extremely forgiving. It's us that limit ourselves. So it's like, if you get off your path because of something that occurs in your family or a situation, it's very easy to get back on it. You just have to allow yourself to receive, and allow yourself to understand that sometimes these events will happen, and that it's okay, and then just move on. So remove and release all the aspects, like all the places that we may unknowingly judged ourselves because we spent so much time in one section and didn't achieve or accomplish our goals because of that. And it's like, therefore we feel that it's like sometimes what happens is it's a longer destination to get to where we want to go. And it's like, that opportunity will appear no matter what. We just have to get it in our mindset that the moment you say to the universe is okay, I'm ready, let's move forward. it, Everything will happen in a place and time for you for this to occur. And it's like the universe, the other side of the universe is not linear. So sometimes, like, we think, okay, want this to happen, it's going to happen right away. But you know what? They give you signs that things are coming. So let's remove and release all the places that we have decided that we're just on this set path. We have no other destination, and we can't get by that set path because it requires so much of our time, energy, and emotions. But you just have to realize it's just the lesson. What I feel like sometimes what happens is the lessons that we need to learn, we learn them, and then we move on. But sometimes those lessons are like there's other factors involved in it. So not to be too harsh with ourselves. So remove and release that. Times of, yeah. And it's like, I mean, there was someone had said something along the lines of, it's really interesting, and like I'm 58 going on 59, and I'm still taking courses. I'm actually in the process, on the cusp of changing my life path in a very significant way. I'm really excited about it, and I'm not stopping. I'm not slowing down. The number means nothing to me. I'm just thankful and grateful I had the opportunity to get to this place in time and to make these choices. Because sometimes what happens is a lot of people, when they get to a certain age, they start shutting down, and they don't consciously even realize they're doing it. So they have more health problems. It's like they limit themselves. They limit the possibility. And it's like they're getting prepared to retire. But it's like, how about if you look at it as a different phase of life? Like the possibility that you are going to do something completely different and maybe fun and joyful, instead of thinking it as, okay, well, you're going to, like, unfortunately, there is some people that look at it from a point of view of, like, they go in a place of fear and scarcity and lack. So remove and release all the ageisms and the belief systems. Because I think there was a runway model, and she's been a model since the 80s. So I think she's either in her late 60s or early 70s, and she's still doing her thing because that's what she wanted to do. And it's like, there's no limit. There's no time limit. It's just whether we choose to allow that. Like whether we accept these, the society's limiting beliefs and put ourselves in categories that are not us. Remove and release all the places we've been influenced by that, and that have limited our choices, or to make us think that that we have to, because of a certain age or number, that we're supposed to slow down as opposed to keep going. And it's like, I don't even think on that level. It's like, I'm just thankful for my experiences and what I've witnessed throughout time, and how I've gotten here. Yes, sometimes there had been points in times, but not anymore. I wish I maybe had looked at it from a different perspective, but I wasn't in that place at the time. And I mean, I'm thankful I got out of it, and I'm here now. And I decided that these are places that have taught me my lessons that I needed to learn, and have brought me to this place in time. Like, I have no intentions of changing my ability to receive knowledge and to use all my gifts and abilities. I'm going for the whole journey. And yes, sometimes it's nice to have an afternoon, maybe to slow down and do something. But if it brings me joy, I'll do it, and I'll make time in my schedule to do it. But if it doesn't, I'm not doing it. And And it's like all the aspects of ourselves that we have unintentionally allow us to be like, sometimes what happens is people's memories get really like, there's so much information, and our sometimes we can forget things, and it's like it's like, so there's many opportunities and methods to help us clear that aspects of ourselves. And there's so much information out there now, especially with Instagram and TikTok, of natural ways to help us in any shape or form. So release and remove the aspect of society that tells us, because of our age, that it's certain expectations are expected. Yes. I look at each day as a new way, something new to discover, something new to learn, something new to experience. And it's like, there's people that enter your lives maybe just for a short period of time, and they give you like, you receive information and knowledge, and it's like, thank you very much for that, and it's like you just keep going. So remove and release the aspects of ourselves that we unintentionally slow down and are trying to keep in pace with society at large. And also that we are trying to, but because we're trying to do that, we're also smothering or shrinking a part of ourselves. So remove and release that. Yes. I'm so thankful for this, because it's like, it helps me work through stuff as well, and it makes me aware of like areas of my life that, like, we always can open ourselves up to new possibilities. And it's a very wonderful and amazing aspect of ourselves that we can celebrate on a daily basis, but sometimes because of responsibilities, obligations, and requirements of life, we tend to bury that part of ourselves. So remove and release all the parts of yourself that you have, not so much that you have shrunk, that you have caused yourself to be not intentionally, you've not intentionally done this, but it's like that you put yourself in a place of like, I'm not sure how to say this. It's almost like, so when you pick a new path and you're on it and you're moving forward, and it's like you look around you, and there may not be as many people in the same path as you, or it's just a new territory for you, and it takes a bit to attract the people that are on that path with you. And so all the aspects of ourselves that we may shut down, that are part of our greatness, but because of not identifying or not seeing the way clearly, we tend to like hide ourselves until we know it's safe to be ourselves. So remove and release that. Yes. There's so many different wonderful souls out there. There's so many gifted, talented people. Like it's just amazing. Like I follow, like I have followed people on TikTok, and it's like, oh my God, like some of them are really young, and I'm so impressed with them. Like, it's like, oh my, this is wonderful. Like that you have identified and seen yourself in such a way that you're celebrating yourself now. And it's like, how, they talk a lot about, this is one of the positive aspects of artificial intelligence, social media, is that these wonderful and gifted people are presenting themselves because they feel that like it's in a safe environment for them. And it's like, thank goodness that there's so much gifts and talents and abilities. And by watching them and looking at them, it changes your, like, it's like it changes your whole perspective. And there was a couple ladies on Instagram, I think. I can't remember, it was Instagram or TikTok, doesn't matter. But they had like they do advertisements for certain clothing companies. But one lady it's like the way they celebrate themselves and how beautiful they are and how wonderful. It's like, it's so amazing. And it's like, it's so amazing to see them see the beauty in themselves and the wonder and the joy. And I'm like I love Lizzo because she parades herself. She is so talented and gifted, and she didn't let them stop her. She moved forward. She dresses amazing well. Like, she's really got it. She really understands who she is, and she really sees herself, and she celebrates it. And it's like, she was one of the ones that I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Like, look how beautiful she is. And the ladies online and stuff like that, it's like, so as we witness all these wonderful, amazing souls coming forward and celebrating who they are, why don't we celebrate who we are? And why do we allow others to affect the celebration of ourselves? So remove and release that. Yes. And that, I think that's some of the gift of receiving that we've talked about before, is that it's wonderful and amazing to like put your intention into manifesting your hopes and dreams and goals. But sometimes we doubt, like when they don't show up when we think they should show up, we doubt ourselves, and we shouldn't doubt ourselves. And the universe has its own way of creating that possibility. So we just need to learn to relax and not allow and not limit ourselves. So remove and release all the places that we unintentionally have limited ourselves and our possibilities for being the greatness that we are. Yes. Feels a lot better. I can't believe, like, I started this in January. We're in May. Like, this is amazing. And it's like, thank you so much. Like, thank you, Rose, for showing up. And thank you, everyone who listens to this afterwards, because I know how busy our lives can get. And I just thank you very much, all of you, for listening to it. Yeah, the weather's getting nicer here. So I finally figured out I had a strange sound. There was a bird outside my window, and around 5:30 every morning, he shows up or she shows up, and makes this really strange noise. And the other day, I caught them. It's a red cardinal. Oh, thank you, Rose. Yeah, I do too. I love them. Yeah, they're beautiful. And they say if they come in your yard at a certain time, the cardinals, they'll show up at that same time every day. So it's really nice to see that they come so early. So he's my own personal wake up call. Because even if I shut my window, I can still hear them. So, anyways, I had to laugh. Like, I love hummingbirds and all the wonderful, beautiful aspects of bees. I'm a big bee person, all that stuff. So when the few times we went to, it was Cuba was the most, yeah, there was Cuba and then there was Punta Cana. So I love peacocks as well. And every morning this hummingbird would show up at our screen door. And so I made sure that I get up in the morning just to see and appreciate and see the beauty of the little bird. It was wonderful. And then the other time there was this little blackbird with white beak, and he squawked. So I had to learn how to have some food for him because he was coming to be fed. And it's funny, he came to that balcony, and I'm sure he does it with other people, but I just thought that was really interesting. And then when we had the peacocks, and it's like it was my railing that they come and sat on, and they sang, and it's like it's really nice to experience that. I have a lilac tree from my grandmother's house before it was sold after she passed away, and it's a pink lilac tree, and the bees just love it. So it's really nice to go out and be amongst them. I really would love to have a beehive, but my neighbors have a pool, and I'm worried that there'd be too many around them, and too many of them might die from being, because they get in the water or something like that. So just let nature doing its thing, and they still show up. So that's really nice. Thank you much. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful week. And I think next Sunday's Mother's Day. I'm still going to do my part, but if like everybody's got plans, so thank you for listening to it later, and as well as just thank you for listening. As the weather gets nicer and nicer, I'm going to try and maybe shorten the how long I'm online with through the summer. There's going to be a couple days in May that I'm not going to be able to, a couple of Sundays in May, because I'm not going to be actually in Canada at that time. I'm going to be somewhere else. And I'm not sure about like time frames. So I just wanted to let you know. But thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself and enjoy every moment. It's a blessing, and we are a blessing.